Hello and welcome to my ever messy art desk. This is Geeks, and today I wanted to show you what I've been working on for the past couple of days, and I thought we could also do some prompts after I show you what I've worked on. So basically, I've been watching this artist now for a few months named Denise Love, and I quite love her. She does some really cool, like really abstract different painting, like mixed media stuff with sometimes watercolors, pastels, different kind of paints and stuff. And I noticed one day in one of her videos that she had these cards that she was kind of looking at. So on her channel, she does actually offer classes on different art things. And whenever I had inquired about what they were, and where I could find little cards like what she had told me that they were in a class. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to attend that kind of class yet. Excuse me. But I was inspired by her, and I was like, well, if she can make cool mixed media cards, I want to make some. And I really loved the idea, and I loved how colorful and vibrant hers were. So I took some of my ATC cards and ended up making some mark making cards with them. Because her mark making has really inspired me a lot, and whenever I'm in a bind, I want to be able to spice things up and maybe look at some different mark making methods. So what I did was I had originally taken just a notebook. It was this one right here, and I just wrote down as many different types of mark making as I could. And after I did that, what I ended up doing was I took some ATC type cards, and then I ended up putting my favorite 25 of them on these cards so that I can use them. So I wanted to go ahead and show you what each of these cards ended up looking like, and then just reading my thoughts on the back about them, because what I ended up doing was on the back of each card I gave like examples, and then I just put what was in my mind at the time when I was making the card. So this one is the card for dots. So we've got just like some different variants of dots, different colors. Each card I went ahead and put some gold on it because I thought that would be kind of fun. On the back I said, dots in all shapes, wonky versus neat, and sizes bring a playful element. Try using different colors of dots or white dots to create different moods. And then I put several different kinds. I put black, green, some are nice and neat, some are messy, some are creating a pattern. I just kind of went all out with it. And then the base of these cards are all just watercolor mixed together. And what I did was I used my Teo Tree ones, but I made sure to use colors that I knew I was not going to probably use very often. So I went with the neon ones because I knew it would give kind of a playful look to it. But also I'm never gonna go and grab a neon palette just for neoning, I guess. Like that's just, I'm not really a neon colorer. So I thought, hey, I can just use those because I'm probably not going to use them as intensely again. So that's my first card. This next card is for scribbles. What feels like a mess to you could be turned into a thoughtful or purposeful work of art with some well-placed scribbles. And I actually have a great example of this. Like, I was just messing around in my watercolor book when I had originally done this one, and everyone has been really complimenting about how much they like this one, when in reality it's just scribbles. Like, they ended up looking beautiful, but it was just scribbles. Like, I was just doodling and scribbling on top of watercolor. So those scribbles can be inspiring to people. And it ended up being quite beautiful to several people. So I wanted to put that on my card to remind myself, something small and simple can turn into something quite lovely. So if something is scribbled on accident, do it again in more than one areas to draw it all together. That's actually something that was inspired to me by Denise Love too, because anytime she tries something and she's like, oh, I don't know if I like that, she'll do it multiple times, and then soon it just looks like it was supposed to be that way, and it ends up becoming this beautiful masterpiece. My next card is Little Rainbows. So mini rainbows adds an element of cute or kawaii. Try to be random instead of having them all facing the same direction. They can be colored or drawn simply with no colors over painted areas. So this one was actually inspired by a specific artist too. And this one was from Aunt Beck's Creations. She was doing a Zentangle, I think it was either yesterday or the day before yesterday, I want to say. And when which of course, probably by the time I released this video, it might have been a couple days ago. But she was doing a Zentangle and was doing them in black and just had them in random areas. And I thought, hey, that looks really cool. I would love to have, you know, a little card to remind me, hey, you can put cute shapes like rainbows and stuff. And, you know, I really loved that. And I thought it looked really beautiful when she did it. So I went ahead and included that in my cards as well. This next one is actually triangles and other shapes. So for triangles, I put they can be used as patterns directionally or even stacked inside of each other. Easily recognized shapes could be what's missing. Try the same with other shapes like squares, rectangles, etc. So I did some stars, I did squares and rectangles, I did a lot of different triangles. I also did some trapezoids. I just went ahead and did recognizable shapes on this card just to remind me, hey, you know, those could be used as a cool element. Because I actually have been really drawn to triangles lately. In Fortnite right now, they have the Mandalorian that's customizable you can get, and I put like the triangles on everything, and it looks so cool. So I've just been randomly drawn to triangles lately. So for this next one here, this one is raindrops. Can either be drawn or stamped in with a paintbrush. Adds drama when applied to plain water to watercolors, alcohol markers, or super tips. So that's just a reminder to myself, hey, you can do so many different things with these guys. And I tried to recapture that. Like, these are some raindrops where I just stamped the side of a watercolor brush. I drew some different ones. I even drew them in like a heart pattern. I did some messy ones, and then I also just took water and dropped it on the card to remind myself like the distressed look of that, because I really love it. So that is my raindrops page. And then this one right here is flowers. So flowers can be in many shapes and sizes. They can be cute and playful. Bright or dark colors can work well because those can set moods, and they can be paired with leaves or vines. So I did several different types of flowers. Some are messy, some are not. This one, oddly enough, looks more like one of those like Celtic knots instead of a flower, but that's okay. I did like a messy sunflower down here. So just, you know, different weird little flowers to, you know, remind yourself to keep it fun. And this one right here is for humps or mountains. So it gives playful motion because you get that woo feeling to it. Can work great as a border, can be mixed with other patterns for fun, could be tall, short, tight, or loose. So I did mountains in all different shapes and sizes. I also showed how it could be used as borders, and I also did like some little scales on here because that's kind of that mountain shape in a way. And I did some with loop-de-loos, some that are like almost like in a Zentangle pattern. So you can do quite a few different things with those. So I really enjoyed that card as well. For this one, we've got X's and checks. Every time I saw this card, I wanted to sing. There's this one song, and it's by, I just can't think of her name, but she does the song X's and O's. You know, that's what I thought of with this song. She's Rob Schneider's daughter. I just can't think of what her name is right now. So for this one, we have could be stylized to create chic, great for patterns or borders. X marks the spot. And then I just did some different patterns that involve X's and O's. Some of them are stylized, sometimes I have colors in there. So I just kind of had a lot of fun with that card too. This one's also a really interesting one that I thought of. So for this one, it's punctuation, and it's just a fun way to communicate feelings in your art. They can be used with or without words and can affect the moods when used with different colors. Like purple is usually confusion, for example. If you see exclamation marks, you know that could be excitement. You've got commas in here, colons, semicolons. The semicolon is usually like awareness. You've got the and symbol. So just a lot of fun, different marks for that one. This one, I love how this one turned out. I think it's really cool. So for this one, it's checkers, great for patterns or borders. Could be colored or done in a sketchy form, can be in different colors to bring a fun element to classic. And what I mean by that is look at how cool the blue and the pink look here. That looks fun. And then I love this black checkered pattern up here, and I like how these are kind of scribbled. Like, I really love how this card turned out. I think it turned out really cool. Then we've got this card here. So these are zigzag patterns. They can be big or small in a variety of widths. Great for patterns and Zentangles. Offer a sense of direction in art. Can be playful, and also can turn into tiger stripes. So these are supposed to be like kind of like tiger stripes up here. With this one, I did some zigzags, but in like the heartbeat pattern to kind of symbolize that. Got some white ones here, I've got some decorative ones, and then I've got like a scribbly zigzag. So there's that one. This one's got a lot of cool motion to it. So for this one, can create movement, can be tight or loose. Square spirals add mystery because of their connotation with ancient civilizations, because a lot of times you would see like different square spirals carved into rock and stuff. Can also be used for conveying confusion. So I did, and when I think of the purple spirals, I think of Psyduck from Pokemon, because he either had blue or purple spirals that were always above his head when he was like Psy, like acting confused and stuff. So I thought that was funny. I also did some wind patterns, some loose ones. This one I was doing tight spirals and then turned them into a tree for some reason. We've got a big one up here, like maybe there's something supersonic happening, and then we've got those like ancient-y looking ones. This card was for waves, so it adds movement, can be in many shapes and patterns, try several different types. Cool colors pair well with waves due to liquids. So I did some different ones. This one's kind of fun down here because this one, if you layer it on top, kind of makes it look like it's like a foamed wave, which is fun. So I do like that. My husband said he really liked this one a lot. This is the castle pattern. I don't know if there's a specific name for that. I just call it the castle pattern. Great for edges and borders, pairs well with neutral colors, but can add drama with bright colors. Easily recognizable and to recreate, because all of us have drawn this at some point in time. I also did some loose ones that were kind of rounded as well. And I did some dashy ones too, just to add a bit of fun. And I want to point something out about this one because it's really cute. Do you see this smiley face right here? This one, the smiley face, the blue smiley face was done by Ronan, my son. So I thought that was really cute. But this is for asymmetric writing, great for journaling. It is a pseudo or pretend writing. It feels readable, which could cause a viewer to connect easier with the art. Can be distressed in teas or coffees to blur or age them. So I just did some different asymmetric ones. Like this one reminds me of a doctor's signature. This just looks like it's on the cusp of art. I tend to go with like loopier ones like that. And then we've got this one, which just looks kind of interesting with symbolism in it. And then a straight up loop-de-loop pattern. This one right here is arrows and chevrons. So can offer a sense of urgency. So for this one, what I was thinking about is ambulances. Ambulances have chevrons on the back of them because a study was done and it was shown that people reacted to the emergency slightly faster when red and yellow chevrons were paired together. So that's why I put that. Provides movement or direction and can give an indigenous or campy vibe. So here a lot of people will, here in the United States, whenever you see arrows, sometimes you think of our indigenous, like Native Americans, or sometimes you can think of camping because we do have a lot of that kind of symbolism on camping things too. And then I put some sideways chevrons. I tried to convey emergency chevrons there. So I just had a little bit of fun with that. This one right here also has some drawings from my son. So this red marking right here is actually from my son Ronan. I asked him to draw a circle, and these were his circles. They're not quite round, but they're very cute, and I appreciated them. So this is O's and circles. So they can be perfect or oblong. If applied with water on watercolors, alcohol markers, or super tips, it could add some drama. Very playful and can be the same or all different in the same piece. So I did some different ones. I did some water ones where I just put water in here without color. So you see it both with circles and O's, and then on the circles I highlighted them with yellow. Did some scribbly ones, some chain link ones, circles inside of each other. We've got, I think this square part, I want to say that I held his hand with the gold paint one, and we did this one together. And then I've got some blue circles and some white circles up here. This one is loops. Can be smooth or scribbled. Playful borders used as asymmetric writing. Can be alone or in a pattern, and can be turned into neurographic art if the lines are thickened. So I did a little bit of neurographic line work here. And then I've got some different loop-de-loos. Some of them are connected, some are not, some are small, some are big, and then here's some of that writing again, with some loops included in it. The next one I have here is lines, dashes, and stripes. So it's going to be great for making patterns, awesome for borders, can be long, short, evenly spaced, or sloppy, easy to recreate, and can intersect at random. So I did some in patterns, I did some dash work, some intersecting lines. I really liked this like little bone looking pattern here. It looks like a fishbone pattern. So I did those. If I could go back and redo this card, I probably would have added some red or pink in there because I didn't realize I used 2 types of blues, and then mostly the background has a bunch of blue splotch work in it. So I probably should have added a little bit more red to it, but that's okay. This one's one of my favorite cards. This is the heart card, and I love adding hearts to things because I'm kind of a goober and I just really like hearts. I guess I'm girly. I don't know what to say about that. They're very cute and easily recognizable. They pair with warm colors for happiness and love, and with cool colors for sadness or longing. Great for affecting moods or giving playfulness. This one was a really fun one too. This one's for crosshatch marks. Great for patterns or borders, can be evenly spaced or messy, and can be used as a clever method of shading, which I usually think of as this kind up here. So I just did a couple of different types of cross hatching there, even some little hashtags. This one's pretty cool too. This one I saw online when I was Googling different mark making for like ideas. And this was one that I came across that was called the germ circles. It's very creative and intuitive, can be a pattern or at random, adds playfulness and color in small areas for fun. So like this one right here, you can see has multiple colors, but I don't know, I included it because I just thought it was really neat looking. And I was like, I want to put some weird germs in my Zentangles. That sounds awesome. This one here is the diamonds. Easily replicated shape, can be used as stars, jewels, or patterns. A white highlight can make it shiny. I actually like doing random, like kind of messy diamonds as stars in the sky sometimes. Like, I don't know why, I've just always liked doing that. Even in my last ATCs, I showed the Pokemon Swap ATCs. The one that was at night had stars that had that in it. It's just one of my favorite kinds of stars. This one's kind of a twofer. This one's both cracks and webs. So it can be a pattern or completely at random. White Posca can make it really pop, and it's just something that's creative and intuitive, which means I just let my hands do the work. So this is what this one turned out like, and I have some messy webs, I have some clean webs, some different types of cracking, and you can see how the color of the gold really made that dramatic. And then this is the last card. Anywhere that you see red is actually where my son drew. So these are smiley faces. And for these, it adds to the mood. It's very playful and recognizable. Can be placed on a pattern or at random. And adding colors can be fun. And you can always do smileys or frownies. And I just added that because sometimes I like to add those to my art. So those are all of my art cards that I made, and I finished making those yesterday. So they're hot off the presses for me to use. And so I thought it would be really fun today to draw some prompts. And then I also had my husband pick out one of my Sarah Renee Clark color cube numbers out. So he picked 297. So I've got these colors here, which is dark teal, Bondi blue, mint, artichoke, dark green, and black. So that's going to be kind of the mood to it. The other thing that I wanted to try to use is I got my very first Stencil Girl Club package in the mail today. So I wanted to see what those stencils looked like, and maybe we can just add it in there for some fun. It's something that I see other artists do that have the Stencil Club. Like I know Denise Love, of course, has them, and then so does like Kathy Berg. She's got stuff from the Stencil Club too. And like I said, this is my very first one from them. They give out monthly stencils, and then if you're a member, you can actually like order old ones too. I have not looked at their old ones yet, but from the ones that I've seen used by other artists, they're pretty cool. So I wanted to try it just because I noticed that the ones on Amazon really were all the same. And I didn't want to use just all the same stencils all the time. So I wanted to try something different, and these are made by different artists. So let me get this out real quick. Okay. And then the stencils that we got this month are, ooh, I love stars. So different types of stars. And then it looks like we've got some really, really fine line, looking. Oh, they didn't pop them out. That's why. Okay, so they're, I think these, maybe they come out. I don't know. Oh no, I think they're just like fine line waves maybe. I don't know. I think maybe you're supposed to be able to pop that off. Because it's on there very thin, but it's on there pretty hard too. I don't know. I might have to see somebody else use that before I decide if I should rip those through. But these doves are cute, and we've got some leaves here. I'm thinking with our color palette, especially with the green, these might be good for borders. Now, what I might do is I might cut these out of it because I'm not sure that I want those to be necessarily like together with those. But I'm gonna keep those to the side because I definitely think I for sure want to use those. And I think what I'm gonna do, just like I said, I'm just gonna make these their own stencils so that they're easier to use, because I think it's really cool that they're together like that, but I also think that's gonna make them really hard to use. So that's what I'm gonna do. And it looks like this one, oh, it has a name on it. Okay. It's called A Gardener was that one. And then, so maybe those are supposed to be bushes, I bet. And then this one is called Gardener B. So Gardener A and Gardener B. But yeah, we'll go ahead and use those bushes there. And I don't know, maybe we could stick a bird in it. We don't know what our prompts are yet, so we'll cut the bird out too. Just in case. Couldn't hurt. And I'm sorry if somebody saw me cut that and cried a little bit. I think that it's going to be a lot easier to use if it's in multiple pieces because there's so many different parts of that stencil. So let me go ahead and see what our prompts will be. So I'm going to stick our stencils to the side over here. And I've got my prompt bowl, and I'm going to just give it a good swish. Maybe I'll zoom out just a wee bit. Here we go. Give it in a good swish. I'm going to draw 5 of them. So I've got 1. Is this 2 or? Okay, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So we've got a goldfish. An alien. A wizard. What the heck? A little scared to see what the rest of these might be now. Oh no, Big Bird. These are not the prompts I was hoping for. And false teeth. Oh my god. What am I even gonna do with that? Alright, well, I'm gonna channel my inner Terry Brett, and I'm just gonna go with it. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mix up my cards, and I'm not looking while I'm mixing them up, and I'm just gonna splat down a card of the type of mark making that I need to use with this picture. So I'm gonna pick this one. Oh no, there's two of them there. Okay. We're gonna go with this one. What's this? Spirals. Okay. Well, heck. Thinking of spirals, I'm really confused by this picture because I don't know how all these characters are gonna work together. But we're gonna try. We sure are. And I also gotta figure out, oh wait, what if Big Bird? Hey, instead of having the Big Bird, I could use the stencil bird. Yeah, and let's see, goldfish. I had some goldfish around here somewhere. Let's see. Well, I've been working on some fish ATCs lately, so oddly enough, I have the Something Fishy collage soup book here. Maybe we can look for a fish real quick. A goldfish. Because I'm sure there's gotta be. Ooh, we could have it be a person fish. That could be fun. Because I mean, why not? Everything else is kind of weird here. Okay. Maybe we could do, ooh, do we have any of them that kind of go with our color pattern? Actually, a lot of these do. Okay. I like it. And maybe we could, yeah. So this could be an idea. We can come back to that one, but that could be something there. Might even be able to find an alien in here. Let's see here. Goldfish. Or it could be a goldfish alien, or maybe the wizards. Oh, maybe it's, okay, how about this? What if the wizard was doing like a magic spell and it turned somebody into this weird goldfish alien, and they're like, oh my god, where's my false teeth? And yeah. Ooh, there's a story here. Okay. So I think I'm gonna go with, we need to go with one that looks kind of more like a goldfish. I like this guy. He looks really concerned about what's going on here. Or this one, because this one you can really tell is a fish, and he looks kind of confused, so we could put like the circles of confusion around him. I think we're gonna use this guy. I like him. So I'm gonna go ahead and rip him out. I can feel my creative juices flowing. And maybe we can just use the big bird in the background somewhere. Okay. Let's see here. We still need a wizard though. I could probably just draw a wizard though. I don't think that would be very hard to do. So we're gonna be a little loose with this and say that the wizard turned him into a goldfish alien, because goldfish don't typically walk as far as I know. So I am gonna go ahead and use a X-Acto knife to cut out this fish real quick. If that bothers you, you can just fast forward from this part. I'm sure it won't take very long. So I'm just gonna go ahead and take that out real quick. Oops. I'm not being super exact with this. I'm just not a super patient cutter, I guess I would say. But it'll be close enough to where it won't be bothersome or anything like that. It'll be fine. Okay. Now this part I do want to get right because we need him to be a fish. So I do want to make sure that I cut out the fins and the tails. I think it might be. Oh, I thought I did that top one. Okay. I had not. There we go. There we go. All right, he looks cute. All right, where did I put that lid? There it is. Okay, so let me get one of my journals out real quick and we can slap a background on there. So I'm thinking something like, maybe this bird can be like a peacock, so maybe it can have greens and blues in it. That'd be kind of cool. But we would need to put it on sort of a lighter background, so maybe like a yellow or something. Well, we don't want to do yellow though. Maybe we can do like the light green background and then use these blues and stuff in the bird. That could be cool. So let me grab some materials for that. Let's see here. All right, and I've got my journal here. So let's just zoom out a bit and find a page that we haven't used yet. There we go. We can put it right here. And then let me move my stuff out of the way. Okay. And then let's get some yellow. Or no, I said I was gonna do green. That's right, we're gonna do a green background. Okay. Give me 1 second while I try to find anything I can use for that. Okay, so I think instead of a regular green, I'm gonna go with this green for the background because I just kind of like that green and I think it'll be easier to do the peacock over because it's not a full green, if you know what I mean. So let's go ahead and, ooh, there's not very much of that green left. I'm gonna squirt some of it there, and then I'll probably use a one of these little brushes for that. One of these. So let me undo that because these work really, really well with spreading paints and stuff. At least I think so. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna, oh yes, I'm just gonna start swiping that over my page just to give it some intense green background. That is quite lovely, if I do say so myself, which I do. Some of the hairs came out of the brush. Ew. We don't want hairs in our art. There we go. And then we do need something for the floor, so maybe the floor can be black. Let's do, pretty sure I have a black paint around. Oh, black paint was right in front of me. So I'm just gonna do a playful back, or a playful black area here. And this is where our wizard and our fish are gonna be standing. And then we'll use a second brush and put this maybe up here like that. So let's do, we want some that green, we want some blue, and some of this. So those are kind of peacocky colors. And heck, we'll just see what happens. Nah, I want to use a different brush than the one I used black in because I have a bad feeling about that. So we're gonna do this one. And let's do some green on the outer edges here. Like that. Go into this lovely color here. And then some of the blue in the middle. Do some more of that green in there. A little thick on accident. That's okay. It's not gonna hurt anything. It's a big bird. So I'll set that to the side to clean it off. Should have used, like I said, a little bit less, but that's okay. We can go back over it with some white Posca and make it look really cool. So I am going to probably put our fish guy right here. So let's get some glue. And just so that we can remember what our stuff was here. So we've already got alien, goldfish, and big bird. So we need wizard and false teeth still. I wonder, I have kind of an Alice in Wonderlandy looking collage suit book. Maybe we could use that too, or on a different page I can draw a wizard and then we can just cut it out. That could be cool too. I'm just going to put this guy right here. And I need a paper towel. There we go. Smoosh it down. I just didn't want to get black all over me on accident because I've already got paint on my fingers. Artist hands. And then I might just wipe that off a little bit because it's a little painty. That's okay. I'll just set that on top of the cookie sheet and it'll be fine. Wipe it off later. All right, so now we need a wizard. So I was thinking maybe we could draw one. So for that, let's use my smaller journal and we'll let this dry. So we'll just let that guy dry there and we'll come in here and steal a page. There, we can just draw on it. All right, so let's see, where's a pencil? Here's one. All right, so we need ourselves a wizard. So let's do a wizard's hat. let's do it a little bit different than a normal wizard's hat, which would twirl up. We're gonna make this wizard's hat kind of janky. And let's do like a star here. Yeah. And we'll just kind of give this some wrinkles here. There we go. And let's give our wizard some eyes. And maybe a big nose. Magical looking beard. Something like that, and then maybe some long sleeves for a robe, and we'll have him holding a wand. Fix this hand a little bit because that hand's a little scary looking. There we go. And we'll give him a long robe. Something like that, and then maybe a speech bubble like, "Oh dear, do you want to borrow my dentures?" I don't know. And like maybe a what happened. That would be pretty funny. Let's go ahead and color this guy though. That way he fits the bill of wizard. Let's do. Or anything. Let's do this color. What color are you? Give him some tan skin. And maybe instead of having white hair like a traditional wizard, maybe our wizard can have like black hair. He can be a young wizard, a distinguished wizard. Give him some little eyebrows of surprise there, and we'll color in his sweet little beard. don't see young lizards very often, so I think this kind of makes him be a little unique. I forgot to color his hands. Not bad. That is a slightly darker brown than the other one was. I'll just color over it. Mix them together a little bit. That way his hands don't look too dark. There we go. And then luckily her colors have blue in them, so we're gonna do his robe, the blue that's there, which I feel like this blue might work. Let me see. No, that's a little bit, we need more of a teal blue. Let's see. Oh, that matches quite nice. We could do this. This is an art marker or art maker colored pencil. I don't think I've ever used it based on how it's sharpened like that. So let's try it out. And then we can color in his hat. Okay, so that's a good base color, I think. And let's color in his little mouth real quick. Okay, and then let's do some shading. I think I'm gonna go with this color because this is like a lighter version of that color. And we can just go in with it and add just a little bit of texture. still need some colors here. Let's do that yellow because that makes sense. It's a star. And even though yellow is not one of our colors, I don't think a highlight is going to hurt us. And we can always add some green in to tone it down a bit. Forgot to color shoes. See. There we go. Maybe we can do this really light color and just kind of add some green in there. This way you can definitely tell that this is this guy's place for sure. For sure it was this guy. Dark blue for the wand. And then let's give him some more shading with his face here. Try to make him come to life a little bit. There we go. I think that looks pretty good for a wizard. So let's also do the chat bubbles here. Should I highlight him with black now that he's colored in? I don't know. Maybe. I don't see any of my pencils. I think he's fine. I think I did it dark enough to where it's fine. I'll just be like, I'm gonna have one say what happened and the other saying, should I conjure some dentures? Oops. And then for this other guy, I'm gonna be like, what happened? And for his are gonna be a thought bubble, I think. So I think that would look good. Yeah. So now I'm going to rip this page out and then we'll cut him out. So I'm going to get my handy dandy blade back out again. Except, oh, here it is. I was like, where did I put it? One moment, I just realized I need to rinse these brushes out, so 1 second. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna zoom in a little bit and then I'm gonna cut this gentleman out now. And I'm also gonna cut out these bubbles. Oh, I guess I don't want to cut his whole arm out. It's okay. When I glue him down, you won't be able to tell I did that and it'll be fine. The star is going to be kind of tricky to cut out. I don't know that that's going to look like a star when it's cut out, but we'll see. I don't think I've done this part yet. Okay, let's see here. Well, we should have just popped out. What happened? Let me go back over his shoulder bits here, because I can feel the cuts in there. Oh, I just didn't cut all the way through. Okay. Well. That star came out wonky. I must not have pushed down hard enough. Let's see here, because this part, yeah, I was going to say this part should have came out. Well, you know what? He'll just be a wizard with a triangle on the end of his hat. This is fine. We're just going to go with it. Just going to do some cleanup here. Okay. So we've got our wizard friend, and then we're going to cut out these speech bubbles. Of course, I've already smeared the pencil. I'm terrible about smearing pencil. There's another one I didn't go deep enough. Must be pretty thick paper. Here we go. And then we've got nope, that didn't go deep enough. There we go. Yeah, I think we'll just go with that. Okay. Having a hard time grabbing that. There we go. I'm just gonna clean it up a little bit. Okay. And then let's put our wizard and everything together now. So we're just gonna put the wizard right here and do it like that, I think. Okay. happens. And then our wizard. Got our wizard on there. I didn't want to stay down. Okay. So he's like, oops, should I conjure some dentures? What happened? Then we need to do some purple Tosca. Like I said, I think like the blue and blues is confusion. But I don't want to do blue because we've already got blue here. So I'm going to go like this. And this will be my mark making because remember we had the spiral. So we're just going to convey that this guy is really out of it because he just had a spell. It turned him into an alien fish being. And I was going to put some details up here, but I don't know that it needs it because it looks like a background. So I think that's fine. So yeah, I think I'm just going to leave that as is. And those will be our prompts. So maybe here at the bottom, what I'll do is I'll put prompts. Color cube 297. Big bird. Wizard. Alien. False teeth. Goldfish. Spirals, which is mark making card 8. And today is 5/22/25. So there's our prompts. Well, if you made it with me this far, thank you so much, and I really appreciate you. I hope you had as much fun as I did, because this was very random. And let me know what you think about my prompt cards, because I think these will be great. I just plan to keep shuffling them and then drawing at random and seeing what kind of mark making tools that I'll be using. So let me know what you think in the comments below. If you're new here, please return. I would love to have you. If you haven't already, like, subscribe, do all those good things, and I'll see you next time. Bye!